This is Sam, the Frugal Hugel Gardener, and today I'm going to show you how to go ahead and make your own bungee cord or shock cord ties that are going to securely secure my 30% shade cloth. Now, while making these, I had a few options at my disposal. I could put the bungee cord around and tie it. I could go ahead and cut these different ways and try to secure it with pull, or just use the common like this. So what I needed to do was I ordered a 500-foot roll of shock cord, which I'm going to cut into the desired length that I need, and I'm going to make some bungees to secure my shade cloth. I'm going to take you through it step by step. So the first thing I need to do is go over to my scrap pile and get some PVC pipe, and then I have to cut the PVC pipe into the length that I want. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, with any DIY project that I do where I need multiple items, and in this case I need about 30 times 12, because that's how much it's going to take to secure the shade cloth over 12 beds. So there's a lot of ways that you could go ahead and cut PVC pipe. You can use a PVC pipe cutter like this if you only have a few to do. They tend to be just slightly crooked, and each cut you do is going to be just a hair off. The next way is get yourself a chop saw, a miter cutter, put a piece of wood, lay it down flat, and measure the piece that you want from the blade out. So in this case, from the blade out is 1 3/4. So every one that I do is going to be 1 3/4, and I'm not going to have to measure but this first time, because I'm going to take this and rest it up against this block, and then for each cut I do, they're all going to be the same size. They're all going to fall to the ground. They're all going to be in this area on the ground, but I'm going to have to cut multiple. So with that said, I need to go over to my scrap pile and get some more PVC, and then we're going to begin. Okay, so here I am in my scrap pile, and you can see I got a bunch of pot-in pots in the background over there. But all of these PVC pipes here were the framing for my older 30% shade cloth structure that I had. So I never throw anything out. This is good PVC, and today's prices are pretty high on it. So I went ahead and saved it. So let me scoop up what I need and take it over and cut. Okay, so I'm going to try to give you a close-up. I went ahead and got a lot of that PVC pipe over here. I had to squirt it with the hose, because remember, I used those in the garden. They were stakes in the ground. There was dirt in there. I got them all out. I got sprayed with dirt and water. I got them laying against my boat over there drying out. But for this demonstration, to show you how I'm going to do it, I'm not going to do all of them in front of the video. I'll just show you what's being done, and then I'll do all of them, and we'll repeat all the different steps through the whole process, and you'll know how to go ahead and make bungee cords like a pro. So anyway, just get yourself a PVC pipe, put yourself a little stopper there so you know how big it's going to be. Okay, so I went ahead and changed the blade out. I have a 12-inch 82 DeWalt fine cut blade. Let's see how it does with the PVC pipe. Okay, it looks like it's a nice fine cut, and that's with the swing in action. So let's go ahead and set it for chop. Now let's see how it works as a chop saw. Okay, it works good for that. I just want to make sure I could just go ahead and do multiple. So let me go ahead and cut a few. Okay, so the main thing over here is you want to go ahead and try to get all your cuts to come out the same. And it looks like there was a little buildup over there. Okay, so that little buildup in that corner is going to keep them from being the same. So I want to go ahead and eliminate that. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do to eliminate that so the dust flies off is I put a piece of tape down over here and I marked it. So each one of my cuts, I just put it to that mark and then I'll give it a cut. And that should be fine. Let's see how that works out. Okay, there you go. That eliminated it. So now they're all even. The dust is flying off. So when I put it to the line, and then I do the next, and I repeat it and I repeat it, the dust doesn't build up and change the measurement. So with that said, I went ahead and cut a few of these. I have to do multiple. So let me go ahead and do, what am I going to do? 30, 60, 70, 80, 90. Let me do 90 cuts, and I'll get back with you. Okay, so my part 2 to the DIY project is I have to go ahead and make some bungee cords so I could go ahead and secure my 30% shade cloth to my framing that I fabricated. So there's a few ways you could do that. Okay, so one is you could just go buy bungee cords, which is great if you have a little project. If you have a big project where you need a couple hundred of them, it could get pretty pricey. Plus, the quality I don't think is as good. So I went ahead and purchased a 500-foot roll of 1/4 inch. This is shock cord. It's bungee cord, stretches. So for this illustration, what I need to do is I need to cut some lengths. So you could cut it with a scissor. This is going to fray, so you got to heat the end, and after you heat the end, you got to press it on something so it hardens up, and then it won't fray. So what I did was I got myself a little power supply, got myself a board, put a few screws in here with some wing nuts, and put some fishing stainless steel. This is 1x7 stainless steel. It's made for fishing, for trolling, or for downriggers and stuff like that. So I went ahead and put it in here, put it on here, made it pretty tight. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a positive and a negative. I already hooked it up to wire and hooked it up to the power supply. I have it plugged in. I'm going to let this hang out of my way over here. I'm going to put the positive over here, and I'm going to put the negative over here. Now this is going to get very hot, so don't touch it with your fingers. So once this here heats up, and let's make sure it's on. Once this heats up, you just take your bungee cord like that. You see the smoke? Right there, that's a cut, a bungee cut. So, what I need to do is, let me take this off right now, is I'm going to measure. I'm going to make a template. I think it's going to be 17 inches. You can make this any way you want, but this here, this is going to be 7.5 inches or a 6.5 inch on the inside. So, I think it's 18 inches. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to cut multiple bungees. That way when I'm done, I could go ahead and put them on these that I made. Now after I'm done with this, we're going to go upstairs, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how I drill the hole and get them in there. Okay, so let me hook this back up. Now I got power to it. So I'm going to take each one like this. And it cuts like that. Now when the bungee cuts, it's automatically singed, so it's not going to fray. So I want to double check my measurements over here. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking this one apart. Now I just want to make sure my measurements is good. Okay, 18 inches is good on that. I'm actually going to go 18.5. Give me that little 1/2 inch. So, if I hook this back up, each time I do it, I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to go like this right here. Now if I measure this, that's 18.5. Now I could just go ahead and take this like this. See how fast you go? Let me do this on an angle, maybe you can see it better. Okay, so I'm giving you a close-up. Let me reattach this. Got my power hooked up. Let me go ahead and cut some. Okay, so that's 18.5. So all I got to do now is just keep cutting like this. Okay, so I went ahead and I heat cut them, and I did a bunch of them. I gotta do more, but you'll notice that the ends on them are heated and they're melted. That way they don't fray. Okay, also I did these outside. They're all like that. I did all this outside because even if you cut it with the scissors and heat it inside, the whole house, even after doing one or two of these, is going to smell. And that smell lingers around. So make sure you do this outside. Otherwise, you're going to smell up your whole house. It's probably toxic too. So anyway, I'm out here in the sun. It's real hot. I'm going to go do this on the other side of the house on my porch in the shade. I just want to do this in the sun so you can see better. The camera doesn't pick up real good in the shade on the porch. So let me go ahead and finish that. And then I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to go ahead and drill these out. And I'll show you how that's done. Let me go ahead and try to do a bunch of these. Okay, so I went ahead and did 60 of them for now. I need 100, a couple hundred more over there. So actually I need probably about 30 times 12, but this is good enough for this DIY project. So for right now, what I need to do is I'm going to show you how I take these and get them so these fit into them. So let's go. Okay, so over here in my workshop, and what I need to do is drill a hole in here so this fits in. Okay, so I did a couple of them. Let me do another one or two. I changed out the bit. I went to a little bigger size one. This one right here seems to be working pretty good. Once again, just pull them through, pull a little knot. Once you got the knot, just pull them in. Make sure it goes in the hole. That's what it's going to look like right there. Nice hole. And once again, just go ahead and put it in that way. Slip it in that way so they both come out. And just tie a little knot. Once you got the knot, you just pull them, make sure they slide in, just cosmetically, and there you go. All right, now that I showed you how to go ahead and cut these, drill them, you could drill them by hand too, just goes a lot easier like this. I showed you how I made the bungee. Let's go out in the garden and see how they fit. Okay, so here I am in the garden. I have my shade cloth up. So let's go see how these fit. Okay, so I'm going to remove the string that I have on there temporary. Okay, so I'm just going to take this, like that. Boom, it fits. So basically, it just goes around like that. This goes around that, and it holds on like that. It's a DIY bungee cord, and it looks pretty good to me. Okay, removing the old string, and we'll just put on the bungee cord right now. Okay, so got the bungee through. Okay, so I removed the string. Now, if it's a little hard to get on, just put the string through it. That way it pulls it up, and just have the string pull the bungee through the hole like that, because they're a tight fit. Then you can just come around and put it in like that. Okay, for the video, this concludes the video on how to go ahead and DIY, make your own bungee cords. So they'll go ahead and hold up your shade cloth. Now later on, I'm going to go ahead and spread these out and pull them down. And then I'm going to go ahead in the center over there and pull it that way. So these won't hang as much. They'll be pulled in. And I may go ahead and put more right over here also. Remember, it's a DIY project. You fabricate it as you go. So anyway, these are DIY bungee cords. And I made them so I could go ahead and hold up my shade cloth. You could just go to the store and buy them. They come in different lengths. And if you don't have a lot, that's the way to go. I buy bulk, and it's cheaper for me to put in my labor and do it this way. And I think the quality is actually better. So anyway, this is my DIY shade cloth project. I got 12 beds. I only have 3 with shade cloth on them because I want to protect my crop that I just planted. I sowed some seeds and they're starting to come up. They're sugar pods. They're sun and heat sensitive. So let's see what they look like. Okay, I got some sugar pods coming up there and over there. I got some coming up over here. Got some coming up over there. Okay, I'm on my porch and I have some sugar daddy pods and Oregon sugar pods too over here. And over here I got some sugar snap pods and some Oregon sugar pods. So these here I could go ahead and transplant in the garden once they get big enough. And over here I got a bunch of peppers coming in. And I have some more tomato plants coming in here that I need to transplant. And some other plants there. Going down this way, I got some Swiss chard coming in over there. Swiss chard and collards. And then coming down over here, I've got onions coming in all the way down. And then over here I got some more vine plants. And I'm going to go ahead and plant a few more. So not only did I go ahead and seed in the garden, I seeded on the porch. I got places to put these, but these are always backup. If they don't sow well from seed, direct sow in the garden, I got these all ready to go in its place. If they do come up really good over there, I got more places for these to go. Never could have too many.